It's a great question because we now know that we spend about 90% of our time indoors. So when now we want to be healthy, we want to promote wellness, well-being, all these great thoughts that have really become part of how we think of people being their best. And then when you think about the fact that those people spend 90% of the time indoors, it's really a very logical next step to ask the question, well, what happens indoors that can impact health? And that leads to great questions like light. Does light affect us? And of course, it turns out it does. It can affect productivity. It can affect how we sleep at night. So there's many, many things like that. Air quality. What's coming on through the air? Am I getting VOCs or volatile organic compounds, which can affect maybe my asthma, my breathing, eye irritation? Are there things in the environment that can help us be healthier? And maybe we should promote those and see them more often. So I think the answer to why the connection between the indoor environment and health, it's because they do belong together. And what we really need now is good, solid evidence to find out how to put those together, what works, what doesn't work. And I think that's really the purpose of the lab, to bring that scientific evaluation to those different questions. I think we have to measure health in a number of ways, both subjectively. How do you as the individual feel? What's your experience? What are you recognizing? How do you rate your sleep or your energy? But I think we also have to marry that to objective measures. What's your blood pressure doing? What's your stress level doing? And can we measure that with tools that are relatively non-invasive? So we don't really want to measure by doing a lot of blood samples, because nobody wants to have 42 blood samples through the day. But are there things that we can use? Perhaps your heart rate variability, which we can capture on a simple wrist monitor or a finger monitor. So I think those types of things will come together. We need the objective and the subjective together to get a full picture and understand how you as an individual are being healthy within that environment. I think almost everyone will benefit from better understanding of what happens in the indoor environment and how it impacts our health. And what I mean by that is we could consider for a moment Mayo Clinic. Large employer, 30,000, 40,000 employees here in Rochester. What if we could do something in the indoor environment for most of them that could impact their health? So for example, what if we learned a better lighting system that we could then translate when we build a new building, retrofit an old building? What if we could upgrade those things that we now recognize can be impactful on health? So as an employer, I could have all of my employees be that much healthier, that much more productive. So certainly I think employers are going to see this as a value proposition. I think we also see it as the individual level. You know, as a family or somebody who has a family, I want my children to be healthy in the home. What if one of my children has asthma? If we can learn things about the indoor environment that could help that child have fewer asthma attacks, then it becomes very personal at an individual level. So I think it's going to have that spectrum from people who design buildings, people who build buildings, people who own buildings, people who work in buildings, people who are patients in hospitals and so forth, all the way down to just the average person living in their apartment, their house, or perhaps the senior living facility, the nursing home. So that spectrum, I don't think there's anybody we're leaving out. Everybody should benefit if we can find the right evidence to support how we should change the indoor environment.